want a promotion. Ain't getting me paranoid, you gon' share the joy, ain't got time for commotion. Woman, control your emotions. My ego, what you ain't no Aquaman. I do not control the ocean. What you thinking, I'm a simpleton? You must be loose on that potion. You're telling me daddy's a little man, cause life gave him limits. You claim that this minute made, you was getting paid, you was getting laid. Some of you hoes is hopeless. By the way, I'm done with you. Try to swim skinny, ain't gon' have you on pole, which Miss Periods. Winnie the Pooh shiesty, if he pulls up, no, I'm grabbing a pole.
They say it's an 80-20 rule, but 20's a lie. I don't want to spy. Trying to trade in at 80, but know that I got no love for a thought. Now go home, make it up to him, cause he's been through a lot. Ain't getting me paranoid, you gon' share the joy, girl, I gotta be smart. They say it's an 80-20 rule, but 20's a lie. I don't want to spot. Now I got 20-20 vision when it comes to my part. Just know that I'm not going through half the shit that man did. I'll be honest with you, ain't candid. I ain't built to handle how scandalous you can be when it comes to a heart.
Who do you think that you are, woman? I suggest you go outside and call your man as soon as I'm done performing. Listen here, this is my set, it's my time. Show respect, I give you mine, I don't neglect. But you've been trying to make me yours. I paid them more to kill that noise and bury that nonsense that you've been talking. You know it's just sex. You think with your heart, then think with your flesh. I think with both heads. As soon as your love for me settles, then you'll probably sleep with the next. So how do you expect me to accept you trying to be with me? I remember you lying easily while you on the phone with him pleasing me.
They say it's an 80-20 rule, but 20's a lie. I don't want to spy. Trying to trade in at 80, but know that I got no love for a thought. Now go home, make it up to him, cause he's been through a lot. Ain't getting me paranoid, you gon' share the joy, girl, I gotta be smart. They say it's an 80-20 rule, but 20's a lie. I don't want to spot. Now I got 20-20 vision when it comes to my part. Just know that I'm not going through half the shit that man did. I'll be honest with you, ain't candid. I ain't built to handle how scandalous you can be when it comes to a heart.
He's cool, she cool, we cool. Ain't this about a bitch? I can empathize with the other guy. It's the same story with some different chicks, so it's no beef, just keep it pimp. Try to push away, but it make a stick. If you too attached, you gon' hit the flip. Telling white lies, but right before she take the night drive in the daytime, she came over here and she was sucking dick. She showed the text and I peeped the script. Shit had me stressed, I had to drink a bit, but the flesh is weak and the heart's deceitful. Got a pain is evil to absorb the hits. I don't mind a hoe if you a hoe for me. At least see what I'ma get about it.
They say it's an 80-20 rule, but 20's a lie. I don't want to spy. Trying to trade in at 80, but know that I got no love for a thought. Now go home, make it up to him, cause he's been through a lot. Ain't getting me paranoid, you gon' share the joy, girl, I gotta be smart. They say it's an 80-20 rule, but 20's a lie. I don't want to spot. Now I got 20-20 vision when it comes to my part. Just know that I'm not going through half the shit that man did. I'll be honest with you, ain't candid. I ain't built to handle how scandalous you can be when it comes to a heart.
So I'm about to come in with full disclosure from the very beginning. This is some toxic, petty ass advice I'm about to give, all right? I'm gonna let you know right now, this is some petty shit. So if you don't like petty shit, if you don't like toxic shit from time to time, right? If you're not somebody who's ever, if you always want to keep the moral high ground and shit like that, then this video is not for you in particular, right? It's not. So what is this? This is how to hit the Uno reverse card on the monkey branch. How to reverse the monkey branch, right? You know, many times people say when you go through a breakup, just leave, right? And just level up. Cool, you can do that. You can still do that. But something else to understand about it is this. Sometimes the way that monkey branching take place, it don't be some above the board type of shit. It do, but it don't, right? Sometimes you see it coming. You warn the woman, you let her know what's going on. She don't listen. I found that one of the best ways to handle the situation is this. See, if you actually loved the woman, if you actually cared about her, if you were actually there for her, there's a certain amount of energy that you put into her. And there's a certain amount of energy that you can put into yourself as well. And you know, there's this crazy concept out there, right? That, you know, it's always some alpha fucks, beta bucks type of shit. Man, I hope you understand that you can be a woman's imprint and she can still monkey branch, right? You can be a woman's imprint and she can still monkey branch. Now, how can this work? I'm gonna tell you how it can work, right? When you are a woman's imprint, she may think your dick size is perfect, right? She may love certain things that you're into, certain attributes of your personality. She may like your skills, your talents, your sense of humor. She might like your interests. But sometimes a woman just has a grass is green on the other side mentality. Sometimes a woman just has self-esteem issues and is insecure. Now, my thing is this. If I'm there for you and affirm you during your times of insecurity, and then you take advantage of me trying to lift you up by trying to switch up on me, it's going to be a problem. That's the truth of the matter. And understand that when you are a woman's imprint, then chances are when she wants to switch up on you and she wants to monkey branch, she's probably going to try to monkey branch with a very similar man to you, right? Don't think that just because you're a woman's imprint that she's not going to switch up on you. It just means she's going to try to find what she thinks is the new and improved version of you with the grass is green on the other side mentality. Which means that whatever you do, he probably does the same shit, right? Whatever you're into, he's probably into the same things. You can probably pick the guy out of a crowd of people just by observing different things in his energy. Because what a woman may do is just try to find a man who represents a great value version of you, to try to find a man who represents who you were at different stages of your development, right? Now, understand this. This can be different stages of your development. I had a woman one time who tried to monkey branch off me twice, right? Both of them were failed attempts, right? One was a guy who represented me back in my simp days, right? Same birthday, same height, same skin tone, beard like mine, make music, into anime, all different type of shit like that, right? But represented the version of me that she met when I was young. Then the second attempt was the guy who represented the version of me that I was when I was in my more toxic days. And the woman spent a lot of time talking about how she missed the younger version of me, or missed a version of me before I was gamed up. Right? She would go through depression. She would go through different things that she dealt with. And man, I tried to be loving. I tried to be compassionate. I tried to be understanding towards this situation. One time she left because of that. And I was like, you know what? I know she'll always be back again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be there for her. But during that period of time, she got her hand caught in the cookie jar. Why? Not even because the dude liked her, but because the guy simply wasn't texting her back. And the crazy thing was, that guy was in the same situation with his old lady as I was in with her. Now this dude, he didn't necessarily look like me. You know, he was taller, had more hair, beard wasn't luxurious like mine, but dude had a lot of the same attributes within himself that she claimed to have an issue with about me. Crazy, right? That's the crazy part about it. So dude was also a rapper. You know, dude was also a pretty dark guy. Dude was also in the anime. Dude was also into a lot of the same things that I'm into, but not even as into him as I was into him. Crazy, right? So what I did was this. When she came to me and was talking about how she got her hand caught in the cookie jar, she wanted to get out the situation, but she was caught up. She was in her feelings over the dude. One thing I told her was simply this. And this is where you can use the concept of psychological reactors to your favor, right? If a woman's in that rebellious stage in her life, where that modern mentality and social programming is starting to sneak into her, right? One thing that you can do is tell her exactly what you want her to do, or exactly what you want her to avoid. And then from that place, to just set things up to where if she doesn't listen to you, it's going to backfire on her. It's petty, it's toxic, I know it is. But you have the upper hand of being honest. So I told the girl, all right, I've been asking you if you wanted to have an open relationship for a while now. The answer was always no. Now you meet somebody, you just want the validation, that's what you say, you just want the attention. And you're just trying to figure out how to get him to want you back so that you can get over it. So I was like, okay, listen, I'd have been caught up in limerence before. I'd have been caught with my hand in the cookie jar before. And I know how those situations can work. So I'll help you. But when I help you, understand this. First thing, don't let it be somebody who you're too socially connected to where you can't walk away if we reconnect stronger. 2, don't let it be somebody I'm socially connected to. 3, don't be doing too much on social media. 4, don't be don't deal with somebody who could use dealing with you as social ammunition against me. Don't do that. And then 5, right? If I give you this advice, I'm not giving you this advice to help you build a relationship with another man. Because what happened was, when she was going through the time in her life she was going through, I wanted to focus a little bit more on emotional safety. Because I was listening to some videos from different guys. I was like, well, maybe this is what the problem was in our relationship. Because I got tired of feeling like she wasn't listening, but I wasn't ready to leave. So I would just start mirroring the triggers, right? That Scorpio stinger shit. And what I did during this period of time was that I had to deal with it. Because sometimes you're not ready to go. Because you're not going to be ready to go until you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? So when I told her I'm not going to give you advice to help you build a relationship with another man, I'm just helping you play this game, that's what I meant. She agreed to it. So all right, cool, I got your consent. Bet. Now, one thing that would occur was anytime she would say what she wanted to do, and I gave her the green light, and I tried to be empathetic and understanding to what she had going on, she would say, no, I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm happy with you, yada, yada, yada. But anytime I would say what I really thought, what I really felt about the situation, she would listen to the actions of what I said, right? But while listening to the actions of what I said and how she should carry the situation and follow through with that, the next thing she would do is she would feel pressure. She would feel trapped. And then this would create this forbidden fruit thing where she wanted to do it more. So every time she said she was going to leave it alone, I inched my way closer into working with the guy. I inched my way closer into being in the same social environment. I inched my way closer into learning more and more about the guy. And through learning about the guy, what I wanted to assess and evaluate was, are the things that you claim to have an issue with me about things that he's truly an exception to? Because if he was, and this was a true level of self-awareness, situational awareness, dude really liked her, was available, they both wanted each other, and I could see that this was going to be a good situation, I was going to fall back off of it. But that's not what I saw. See, my thing is this. I am a predatory person by nature, right? But I see myself more as a benevolent predator. Now, I don't mind being in a situation with a woman and not manipulating her, right? But I'm not going to deal with you and not manipulate you while you're allowing someone else to manipulate you. That's not going to work for me, right? So what I did was every time she would say that she was going to leave the situation alone, all that back and forth, all that topsy-turvy shit, it got frustrating for me. So I inched my way closer into working with him, right? Put myself in the social environment. I displayed that everything that he does, that I do, that I'm more into it than he is. Another thing that I did was I took that safety that I established, and while that safety was wearing down, I made sure I got her to do things that if he knew, it would hurt his ego. So that as that information began to slowly come out to his knowledge, that this would create a situation where he would only be, or she would only be, something he wanted to hit for his ego, because he really wasn't all that interested in her, right? Because part of the reason why I told her not to use my advice to try and build a relationship with another man is because the advice I was going to give her wasn't about how to take that feminine submissive role. It was basically advice about how to transmute energy, right? Because honestly, if you are a man who's giving a woman an emotional safety net, who's her foundation, who's her security, and she attempts to use this to monkey branch to a new man, she's really feeding off and draining off your energy to give her the confidence and the stability to be patient with waiting for another man to start to like her back. So I was like, monetarily, with skills, with services, with collaborations, with different things that I like, if there's any way for me to benefit from the guy, I want to benefit from him, right? While he's not available to you and you're feeling turned on by the guy, transmute that energy to me. Have some dope experiences like that, right? As you find out what's going on with the situation with him, you keep me in the loop. As you keep me in the loop, I'll learn different things and I'll help you strategize. But I also told her, listen, when he finds out about me, this is the thing about the social ammunition thing. When he finds out about me and you're doing things I told you not to do as far as information that you divulge, you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to build yourself up as a target for this man's ego, right? As in, it's not going to be him really liking you. It's going to be him wanting to hit you, right? In order to combat the idea of what Brody Dharma, Coach motherfucking Brody represents. Right? So as I saw her beginning to go in that direction, I was like, listen, you're willing to sacrifice with my ego values in order to stroke his ego when he doesn't even want you like that. You dumb. So this is what I'm gonna do. Collaborated with the guy, worked with him, went on tour with him, you know, got some recording with him, right? Some free studio time, shit, different things like that. Got some headshots, as in some pictures taken, and started talking to the guy. And one thing to learn about it is this: when a woman is attempting to monkey branch, when she's been in a long-term relationship, she oftentimes doesn't recognize or appreciate how patient you're actually being with her, right? When you give a woman a pass. Pass theory, right? When you give a woman a pass, it's a situation where she's not really on point with you all the way like she should be. But because of your time, because of your history, because of trust that's been built, because of how she's been there for you in your own life, you're able to be patient with certain things. But a woman who's not used to meeting a man who's already at that level when she meets him, she oftentimes is going to feel insecure because she's going to expect the man to immediately want her and want to be with her the way you may have when you weren't in a position of having game when you met her. So she's going to take you for granted and want to chase after the validation of someone who doesn't like her that much, because it triggers her childhood wounds and it makes her want to try harder to gain his approval. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I met the woman when I was really young. So she didn't have that same feeling towards me unless I was completely checked out of the relationship. Right? That's the truth of the matter. And that fucked with me. It did. And for a long time, I was able to give her a pass, to give her excuses, to take her excuses, to try to be patient and understanding towards this. But it came with a price. And that price was, either you got to do more shit for me, right? Or you got to be loyal. Neither one of those was something that she was willing to fully do to where it would have been acceptable for me, right? So one thing I told her one time was this: listen, nigga don't like you for real. And me personally, outside of being able to offer sexual favors, the truth is I can add more value to this nigga's life than you can. See, one thing that I do is I have my own version of a monkey branch, right? And this is something I do with friends from time to time, right? If I have a friend who fucks me over, or they try to prioritize somebody else over me, when I'm down for them, when I'm there for them, and they're complaining about somebody else, then chances are, whatever issues they have with this other person, I see why they have issues with this other person. And because I see why they have issues with this other person, if a person betrays me, I'll go be friends with the person who they claim betrayed them, or who they betrayed me for, right? That way you're transmuting energy. All the energy that you would pour into this particular person, you pour it into somebody else, right? So I decided to be an asset in the man's life, because I felt I could be a better asset to his life than you could be to his life. Outside of sexual favors, and the dude already get pussy, so it's not like he needs your pussy. It's not like he needs your head. He don't. Right? So I was in a situation where with this particular woman, she tried to say that they were friends. But I know what they had going on. And I'm like, yo, listen, y'all are not friends. Anytime sex gets involved and there's this push and pull on people's egos, anytime, sexual conversation gets involved and there's this push and pull on egos, people ghosting each other, people playing games, all this other shit's going on, y'all are not friends. Especially when y'all opposite sex. Right? So one thing is, in order to reverse the monkey branch, you have to make sure that you're somewhat on equal footing. That means you got to catch enough W's so that it's not like you're only talking to this man from a space of catching L's. Right? So if I would catch her in a lie, or I'd catch her telling white lies, how I would handle the situation is like this. I would have her doing things like sucking my dick before she went to go see him. Different things that would be how a side nigga gets a one up on somebody. Right? And there would be times where on the low I'd let him know that's what was going on. Be times where he would cash app her, she would send me the money. Anything she would do for him, not find out about her, I'll tell her that in order for me to stay around, she had to do more for me. Right? One time she bought a guy a t-shirt and he had it posted all over his social media, right? I had her buy me a whole outfit. That's the outfit that's on my album cover. Now, when I learned about the guy, I'm like, he reminds me a lot of me. I'm like, shit, situation notwithstanding, me and him could be friends. I think he a cool dude, right? But what I did was this. That's how I handled the situation. I inched my way in closer. Every time she said she would leave it alone. That way, I could have something to justify leaving because I was caught up. It's my first love. So as she began to cross lines, after I got socially involved and socially invested into the situation, I'm like, okay, I see what you on. I see exactly what type of time you on. So I'm like, all right, this is how I'm gonna handle the situation. Started working with the guy, and then eventually I linked up with him. I talked to him. I found out his story. And everything that I told the woman about why he wasn't trying to take her serious months prior, right? Everything I said was true. Because I told her. I even made a post about it on social media. He loved the post. I said, listen, I'm never going to beef with another man over a disloyal woman. That's something I'm never going to do. If you want to fuck me over with another man, then I'm going to choose working with that man over fucking with you. Simple concept, but it's the reality of the situation. So when push came to shove for me and him to have conversations, and it took a while before we got deeper into it. It was one of those what's understood ain't got to be explained type of things. We both knew what was going on. See, he was in the same situation with his old lady as I was in with mine. And because of this, it was easier for him to empathize with my point of view than for him to empathize with her. Because the thing to understand about players is that when you're a player, most niggas got some form of side nigga PTSD who are players. And most players that I know typically have that one girl who they have a soft spot for, right? That one girl who they done spent years with. Who part of the reason why they're a player, a lot of dudes don't even want to be players and promiscuous like that. Some guys are just in positions where they have a woman who's not all the way on point, but she's a Topanga. She likes to present herself as this quote unquote good girl, even though he knows it's not fully true. Something in the back of his mind questions it. And it creates one of these scenarios where he really does not respect or trust disloyal women, right? So when he picks up that another woman has a man in her life who's not too different from him, he's not going to trust that woman and want to move forward with her. Because he understands the game. If you're disloyal towards somebody who loves you the way this man loves you, right? Then you're probably either dealing with me. If his ego's not too big, it'll be like you're probably only trying to deal with me either to get back at him, or you're trying to deal with me subconsciously to get back at him. You're trying to replace his energy with mine because I'm similar to him in a lot of ways. And also, once you get tired, right? Or once you see me beyond my representative, or once you get to know me on a deeper level and you get used to me, you're going to do me the same way you did him. And in these scenarios, a man's just not going to trust you. He's just not. Right? It's just not going to happen. If you didn't have the energy to put in to establish with this man, to have this relationship be one that is fulfilling, or to have this be one that's sustainable, then chances are you're only willing to put in a certain amount of work with me because your ego's triggered right now. But once you get used to me, or once I start to reciprocate your feelings, it's gonna do me the same way. So if the guy starts to like the woman, he's gonna start to tell her different stories about things that she did or things that women in his past did that hurt him. Once this occurs, a woman who's just in limerence, a woman who's just caught up in her ego, is typically going to do the same exact things to you that your past women did to you that hurt you, which is going to show you that this is a woman that you can't trust and that you don't want to be with. So I met up with him. I talked to him, right? And I let him know, like, yeah, man, it's the same situation. I told her that. And the more he recognizes that you know what's going on, that you have more access to information than he does, that you have way more access to the woman sexually than he does, the more he recognizes that she was taking advantage of him in certain ways to benefit you, the more he recognizes that she was really being disloyal towards you to deal with him, and that she was just caught up in her ego and being immature, the less he's going to respect her as a woman. See, my thing is this. It's not even that I would have had a problem with her moving on to another guy, but if you want to have your cake and eat it too, which she said she wanted to do, if you want to have your cake and eat it too, that's different from outsourcing, right? Those are two different things. If you want to have your cake and eat it too, it's a situation in which chances are you still have the man who you're already with in your life when you try to meet somebody new. And you want to use them to give you the emotional stability and security in order to try and move on to a new person. But chances are, a guy is not going to be looking to take you serious while you still have another man in your life who you're actively fucking on. This is just the truth of the matter. Right? If you're trying to have your cake eat it too, chances are you're not showing up to the relationship you're already in. Well, because I got a line in my song called Gents and Gigolos. It's out on all platforms. And in that song I say can't serve two masters, because it's the truth. So when me and we met up, we talked, we worked, we leveled with one another. And leveling with one another, he saw himself in me, I saw myself in him. We resonated with one another. And I let him know, listen, since this was how she was moving, this is how we gonna do things, right? This is how this is gonna work. All the value that I was gonna add to her life, because I was honest with everybody about this shit. So all the value I was going to add to her life as an artist, as a producer with ideas, since you show an openness and an open mind to picking up certain shit, if there's any way I can add value to your life, I'm going to add value to your life. It's the retroactive green light. If the bitch going to go, she going to go. If the bitch fucking, she sucking, she doing whatever, that's what she doing. That's her business, right? I wouldn't try to tell you not to do what you want to do with her. But also understand that just like she came running back to me at different points in time, and yes, I was fucking. Yes, I know what y'all did. Yeah, I nutted in her, had her squirting on the dick before I came over here. Right? And the same way that's how that went, she gonna wait until you like her again, or she gonna wait until you like her for real, and she's probably gonna do the same thing. And you know this, right? So for me, when it comes to the idea of monkey branching, the proper way to monkey branch is like this. If you're going to do it, you have to outsource first, and then while you're outsourcing, you need to transmute the energy from the secondary partner into your primary partner, right? And while you transmute that energy, the same things that your primary partner has to deal with in order to make sure that you're not just meeting someone's representative, you have to subject them to the same things that your partner deals with, that they don't like about you. If you see yourself having a capacity to show up better for somebody else because they're someone new, then what you do in these scenarios is that you transmute that energy into showing up better for your primary partnership. And you fix home first. And if while outsourcing you're able to fix home first, then you maintain your priorities. If while attempting to fix home, that doesn't work, and you're not really putting in the effort, right? You got to show up better. Because the ego works off of this concept of return on investment, right? Return on investment. Somebody new is not as invested in you. So whatever they get from you is something that's going to give them a higher return on investment than your partner who's already dealing with you and already invested in you. Emotionally, socially, financially, sexually. Right? So what you have to understand in these scenarios is that I didn't really have the biggest issue with her wanting to see somebody else or wanting to be with somebody else. But the issue was this. The same ways that my ego was hurt by different things that took place, the same way I was hurt or I felt betrayed, if he's able to deal with all that pain that I had to deal with and decides that he wants you or wants to be with you, then I can understand that. But he's going to have to deal with that first, right? Because you didn't respect what I said about the social media shit and about being socially connected, then now I'm socially connected to him and he knows I'm talking about the situation socially, Which means that if his ego is connected in any way to how you're connected to somebody socially and what you got going on social media, then unless his ego is less exacerbated than mine, right? And he just doesn't care about that, I'm not gonna see you as relationship material once he sees the stuff that I post and the stuff that I do, right? I remember being in that situation and I was finding out, oh, this dude was trying to take the stuff I was posting on Facebook and then try to do it with her. A lot of it he didn't get the chance to do, right? Found out, and I recognized, I put two and two together, that the guy would mostly hit me back. And I told him about it too, and I told her too. I told her this ahead of time. He'd hit me back to work when she was doing something to stroke his ego, right? I didn't hold that against him. See, part of how you reverse the monkey branch is you don't hold anything against the guy. You communicate to the woman and you hold everything against the woman, nothing against the other guy, nothing. Because the game is the game. A nigga's just gonna do what a nigga gonna do. But I also recognized along the way that the guy had a situation where his old lady tried to do him the same way. Now she came back around. She did, just like mine would too. But because of that, he saw himself in me, I saw myself in him. So I remember when I went to go see him and I confirmed the situation about her cash apping me his money and I put it in a song. He ain't like that, right? Tried to monkey branch and run off on me using the same old tired excuses about religion and shit like that. Just to break those rules with somebody else. I didn't like that too much, right? But after about a month of that, my birthday came around. She spent a bag on me, bought me a whole bunch of stuff. You know, my ring, my earrings, stuff I got on in my album cover. And when this occurred, right? My birthday came around, I said, come through, eat some dick up. Come through, eat some dick up, right? She came through right away. We made it happen. Made it happen. I found out what was going on when I saw it at night because I'm like, listen, I'm about to see this guy. Because when I told her about the social media situation, she didn't recognize that when she was falling back from it for a little while and he felt some type of way about how she was showing me preferential treatment, he didn't hit me up to work for a while. So he waited until, and I told her, wait at least 3 weeks of us not talking to each other to deal with the guy. But understand, we're still socially connected right now, right? We're still socially connected right now. So because we're still socially connected right now, that's not gonna work. But understand, I don't think the situation's over. This guy waits until you do something to stroke his ego to hit me back. And lo and behold, day after bitch was sucking dick, he hit me back with the verse for a track that I'm on. A track that's gonna be on my project, right? And I put two and two together by stuff he was reacting to on my page on Facebook. So when push came to shove, that night when I found out, and this was on my birthday, I was mad as hell, I was. Was I mad because bitches gonna be bitches? No, I was mad because I'm like, listen, you stupid. I'm about to go see this man, be in this man's face tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm about to go record with him. Right? It's some dumb shit. Because keep in mind, I was breaking these whole type of situations and scenarios down for this woman months ahead of time about how these situations work. But oftentimes when a woman's been in a long-term relationship and she thinks the grass is gonna be green on the other side because of her insecurities, she doesn't recognize, like she can't really hear what you're saying, because the truth is this, you don't have to lie to a woman. If a woman likes you enough, she'll lie to herself. And this also goes for your bitch when it comes to another nigga. So she would have to see for herself all the things that I was saying. But I'm like, listen, if you really got to see everything for yourself before you find out, it's gonna be a problem. She couldn't make him come, he couldn't make her come. It was some weird shit, right? I'm like, so what I did when I found out about what was going on, but that night I got back there, I talked to her for a little while. Next morning came up, I had the outfit that she had to get me, right? Because of what she did, lying about some shit, right? The next morning I got up, I fucked the shit out of her, nutted in her, had a squirt on my dick. I ain't even wash it off. I put my outfit on that she bought me. Then I rode out in her car to his studio and I cooked for him first. right? Because I be on some cool shit. Because what would I do when I was like her, when I was with her, I would cook for her regularly. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck that bitch. I ain't cooking for her today, but I'm cooking for me, and I'm gonna cook for you. Made some steak, made some vegetables, some saute to go with it. Pulled up to a studio in her car. Then me and him talked for about 8-9 hours. Only got one song done. And during this time when we had this conversation, I confirmed for him, because when I said don't let somebody use dealing with you as social ammunition against me, what happened? I decided to flip that scenario. So if he really likes you, I'm going to use what I'm doing to you as social ammunition against how he feels about you, and I'm going to put it in songs that I'm actually going to release publicly. Like I said, it's some toxic advice. But I don't know, I'm a person who believes in the art of fuck around and find out. Right? I believe in the universal law of fuck around and find out. So when I pulled up to the studio, me and him, we was talking about different girls. I was telling him about the different girls I wrote songs about in my story. I told him about the history of our relationship. He's like, damn, this shit sounds just like me and my old lady. I'm like, I know, that's how that shit be sometimes. And sometimes they go through these little goofy patches, these little goofy phases. Right? And then when I confirmed him the Cash App situation, he kept her ghosted. I even told her why he was ghosting her, right? She still went back and asked him why. Because she don't listen. But understand that you only in situations that you allow yourself to be in. I took advantage of the situation because it's like, for me, at first when I got into it, I understood some things. I was like, you know what? People have their emotional sidetracks. People have moments where you meet somebody, you get excited about them for a little while, then you kind of get over it. Most relationships aren't going to be monogamous forever. Most of them are going to have different issues, different problems. And it's not a situation where if you expect your partner to only like you, to only have feelings for you, to only be attracted to you forever, then that's not the most realistic expectation. So for me, it was a matter of, at first I was looking at it like, okay, this is finally an opportunity for you to do your shadow work. Because I've been doing my shadow work. That's how I know how to handle these situations without disrespecting our relationship. Right? That's something I understood how to do. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do it. But it was like too much work for her. I'm like, all right, cool. Keep just going with the flow of what you feel. Feeling safe because somebody's not communicating directly to you what they think, what they require, and what they want. And you're not going to have either dude. Neither nigga's going to want you. That's how it works sometimes, right? So, yeah, I confirmed to him that I was fucking, she was squirting on me before I came through. Yeah, all that shit. I confirmed all that shit to him. I worked with him. Think dude dope. Cool ass dude. I see why she like him. But what I also recognized was, man, this reminded me of like some videos that I made about catching her hand in the cookie jar, right? Because that's kind of how it was. Sometimes when a woman's in a certain state of mind, a certain place of insecurity, you not telling her exactly what you want and exactly what you expect and laying out a program for her. If she likes you enough, you do that masculine submissive exercise and self-control, and you aren't letting it be known what the direct sexual price is for your time, then a woman will start to try to move that way on her own because she wants that validation. She wants the reciprocation of that energy. She wants to feel like you like her back. She wants to feel like you want her back. She wants to feel like you want her sexually. She wants to feel like you want her romantically. Right? But once you recognize as a man that the reason she wants you is because you don't want her, then now you know that you can never truly want her like that. I remember there's some months prior, when I initially sent him the song. We were talking about side nigga PTSD. And when I sent him the song, he sent me back a message a couple weeks later, you know, screenshotting a post he made on Facebook, talking about how he wouldn't take a woman seriously if she cheated on her man with him, or if she betrayed her man with him, right? And when he screenshot that, when he sent that to me and we were talking about it, I gave my thoughts on the situation. You know, this is when we still weren't talking directly about what was going on. I screenshot that whole conversation. I sent it to her. I'm like, listen, understand that this is how he will view you. This is how he will view you. She ain't listen. So I'm like, listen, you gonna fuck around and neither nigga is gonna want you. And you're gonna be looking real stupid, right? Because old girl was a gospel artist. So I'm like, listen, you giving another rapper, another artist, another individual who's a public figure access to you in a way where if they were insidious or malicious, they could use you and dealing with you as social ammunition against me. Understand that you moving like this socially makes you look bad as someone who's a gospel artist who has the beliefs that you claim to have that I never truly believed was true, or maybe I did for a period of time in my own self-delusion. But by not caring about how you make me look with how you moving, you really aren't caring about how you gonna make yourself look with how you moving, right? A whole bunch of conversations that took place over the course of that year. So once he recognized how crazy she was moving, something else I recognized about things is this. I'm not a person who tries to hide my shadow, right? My shadow's pretty integrated. I don't try to hide what type of person I am. The only things about myself I may hide are more positive aspects of myself, right? So it's kind of like I'm covertly empathetic, but I'm overtly what can appear to be narcissistic or antisocial. Not asocial, antisocial, like sociopathic. And this is just me being honest and real and upfront about what it is I want in life. But I also think about how to add value to others, right? You know, there's also a situation where, because she would like to present this image of herself that wasn't real, that wasn't true, that wasn't realistic, in my mind, I looked at it like this. If people only see this social image, this representative you have of yourself, right? Understand, a man is only going to want you as long as your shadow is something that benefits him, right? So don't point your shadow towards me, because I'm going to point my shadow back. I'm not going to sit here, and I don't believe in being a bigger person in most instances. I may grow beyond that, but listen, I'm not even somebody who's going to sit here and act like, oh yeah, I was just on some super player shit. I finessed the situation. I got a lot of opportunities out of it. But at the same time, something to understand is that, nigga, I was in love. I was hurt. I was a woman I was dealing with for 10 years. So for me, it can be real easy to say just walk away, but also recognize that I wasn't strong enough to walk away yet, man. I wasn't. So I had to take the skills and the tools of the trade and the strategies that I picked up over the years with my dating and sex coaching, and to use it to my benefit. So don't get me wrong, I didn't try to set the woman up. What I really was doing was telling her exactly the way to handle the situation. And in telling her exactly the way to handle the situation, in order to have the best possibility of having her choice of either guy she would want to deal with, right? While doing that, I set things up ever so slightly that if she didn't listen to what I said and follow those instructions, that the advice that I gave her was going to backfire on her. Right? That's how you reverse the monkey branch. And then taking the non-sexual energy that I would pour into her to be an asset to her life, to benefit her, and then pour that into him. And I told him, I'm like, listen, she had me fucked up. So how this is going to work is like this. She can't come back to me because you rejected her, which means she's going to have some type of proof, right? 2, all the value that I was going to pour into her life, I'm going to pour that value into your life. And if it's a situation where the truth is, the only way she's going to benefit from me now is through you. I would talk to her time to time. I'm like, listen, this is some shit she doing for me. She made my website. She took care of this. She took care of that. If she come back in your direction, since she like you so fucking much, then she had you fucked up. Here's some ways you can tax her. Here's some ways you can get some benefit out of her. But she's not about to benefit from me unless she's able to actually pull you. If not, then she just got me fucked up. But she's gonna have to do a lot of work. A lot of work. Because the truth is this, man, I done had women who done ran off on me before. Right? I had women do that shit before. Not my first time, not gonna be my last time. And the truth is, after I got over shit, or if I wasn't that invested, I was able to heal. I was able to move past that And I'll still deal with those women from time to time. It's just they had to start from the bottom. The issue with this girl is because we started our relationship so young, we had so much history with each other, I kind of had to delude myself to see her as wife material because of the things that she would do for me and how loyal she was to me for a long time and how invested she was in me, that I recognized, and I did recognize, and I tried to work on it, that she wasn't willing to put in the work to be in a position where she was really even worthy of being somebody I could deal with on that beginner level, which means that over the time of us dealing with each other, she would only be willing to make certain forward moving steps if she realized she fucked up. That's the truth of the matter, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. How close can she get to the line of fucking up, feeling guilty, understanding she needs to fix things? Is the level that she would have to get to with that going to be something where I'd still be willing to deal with her, but also something to where she would be willing to put the work and the effort in? Right? That's how it worked. But when push came to shove, it felt like too much pressure for her. Felt like too much work for her. Felt like she wanted to just figure things out on her own. And I'm like, listen, you tried to figure some shit out on your own and you're not good at it. Now, before we got to that space where things got a little bit more turbulent, it was in a real good space, right? We was talking about moving in together. You know, we was talking about getting our finances together, certain things like that. She was saying how much she knew she wanted to spend her life with me, but she didn't leave the situation with the other guy alone. So I inched my way closer into working with her. Empathized with him, broke bread with him, shared some ideas with him, started producing for him. Right? And I told her to her face, I'm like, listen, I can add more value to his life than you can outside of pussy. And you done hurt this man enough with your goofy ass moves, not knowing what you want, that he don't trust you neither. And now he knows how invested I really was in you, and the fact that you came to me about how to attempt to manipulate him. This nigga don't trust you. Not at all. Because of your moves. Because once you start to empathize with another guy and you put yourself in his shoes, you start looking at things from a different perspective. Right? So, yeah, this is Coach Brody on how to hit the Uno reverse card on the monkey branch. I'm out.